The universal block is, as I understand it, a block that is usable in multiple different situations, right? So for me, I like to parry from this position, right? Now, I do drop my hands a lot because I like to move my head and have like the freeness of being like this. Now, everyone like fights and spars differently, so my fighting style might not work for everyone. Just keep that in mind. But for me, a universal block is a parry to the outside of their center line. So say they're standing in orthodox, their jab is going to be coming at you straight from this position. So coming underneath the jab and parrying it over your shoulder, you then end up on the outside of their body. So you have this right here, right? You even have the overhand. Parry, jab, as you parry, you jab, right? So this can be used for multiple different situations as a universal block, right? So the idea behind the reasoning that I do things may be different than other people. Like I said, everyone's fighting style is different, but for a universal block, it needs to be applicable in multiple different situations. So this is a parry to a jab. At the same time, it can be a catch for a two, right? Because you can catch and roll, right, while still being in the same position, right? So you can also jab, catch, parry, catch, right? And this catch is making sure that, their glove or, their hand goes right here. Or if they miss right there, you're rolling with the shoulder. So this is how I approach, okay? I'm right here, and even if they're not throwing this, I'm parrying, right? And then I use this movement right here to get off the center line, right? So this right here is how I get in and I get out. So I'll go jab, body, and you see the parry is here even when I'm jabbing to the body. The parry's here when I'm jabbing to the head. The parry's here when I'm, coming off the center line, right? Coming off the center line. The parry and the catch when I'm rolling is all right here. So for me, my universal block will be this parry, right? That turns into a catch, that turns into a block. But it's all right here. And you could call this the Philly, right? Because technically you could really call this the Philly shell. But for me, I'm not a boxer. So the Philly is a modified for what I do, since I do many different, martial arts. You could be considered MMA. So this movement right here, the front hand is the first line of defense. You can block this way, right? There's like this whole circular area right here that you can block. But for me, the universal block is this backhand, parry. And I'm using this to play off all my attacks. Jab, right here. This is for this hook, right? Jab, body, double jab, right? Coming in, I'll pull back and parry, right? And then I'll switch and throw this. And then I replace it with this hand. So now this hand is here to parry, right? So then I basically switched, I kind of switched stances without switching stances. Now the stance switch comes when they're right here, and I just turn my back foot. Now I'm in southpaw, right? I was in orthodox, now I'm in southpaw. And now, this is the parry, right? Now I do the same thing. I come in, jab with the parry, right? But it's all about, keeping everything connected. So when you come in with this hand is ready to do the same thing this hand is doing. So for me, the universal block is the parry.